In this lecture, I'll explain the ins and outs of working with multiple documents at once in Photoshop. Open a group of 4 JPEGs, or open the 4 JPEGs for this lecture found in the support files, called Boston, Duck, Lake, and Las Vegas. To open multiple files at once, we can go to Open Files as usual by pressing Ctrl-O on the PC or Command-O on the Mac, and then click and drag around a group of files, or click one and hold Shift on the keyboard, and click another to select a group, or hold down Control on the PC or Command on the Mac and click specific files to open as a group. Alternatively, just navigate to the folder that has the photos and select them the same way and click and drag them into Photoshop. Notice by default that the files are tabbed up at the top, right below the options bar. Some people would rather have the files open as floating windows rather than tabbed by default. So to toggle this, just go to Apple Preferences on the Mac, or Edit Preferences on the PC, and click Interface, and uncheck Open Documents as tabs. I'll leave mine checked because I don't mind the documents opening as tabs. To work with these documents in floating windows, we can simply click and drag the tab off the top area. This will cause the JPEG file to be displayed in a floating window. We can click Maximize to maximize it, Restore to restore it to part of the screen, and minimize it just like a normal window. We can always go to Window and then select the name of an open file to make it active. And if you click and drag a free floating window up to the top, it's docked up as a tab again. Let's say we wanted to move the content of one of these photos on top of another. We could do a selection with the Marquee Selection tool and go to Edit, Copy in one photo, and then Edit, Paste in another. However, we can also drag the content of one photo onto another by using the Move tool. First, we need to make them both floating windows. So click and drag to the image off the top tab area. Select the Move tool, which is the top tool in the toolbar, and click and drag one photo onto another. Notice that in the destination file, there's now a new layer on top of the original one. Also notice that when I get close to the edge of the canvas, the layer I'm moving snaps to the edge. That's because I have View, Snap to, Document Bounds selected, as well as Snap, in order to toggle that function. It can be useful when we're wanting to align a new layer to the edge. There are a few ways to arrange these windows in a preset way. Click on Window, and then Arrange, and there are a few options here for arranging all the open documents in Photoshop. This can be helpful when working on multiple images at once. We can also have all the documents float as windows or have them consolidated to tabs. Now that I've covered the various ways to work with multiple documents in Photoshop, let's move to the next lecture in which I explain a few common file types as well as image modes.